Hello everyone. I'm still encumbered by my achy hands and by this splint which I wear while doing sort of dexterous activities and when I'm asleep. I thought that this sort of lack of dexterity sort of lends itself to some childish scrawls. I thought I'd use this video to recount some funny childhood stories involving basically all the times that my art has been rebuked as a kid. Growing up, I wouldn't have considered myself an artsy person at all. I would have considered myself quite bad at art. So I had the idea of recounting some of these funny stories and creating a little artwork that basically flies in the face of a lot of the criticisms I had as a kid. So the first one here has to do with my first detention ever. It's the first day of first grade, and the first grade class and the second grade class were all in music. And the task of the day is to basically do some coloring in, because you really can't avoid coloring in school. I remember we had sort of this, we had to color in sort of the banner of this music sheet. They had like all these, there was like this tessellating leaf pattern. And I think what I was meant to do was basically color in all the leaves individually. As an aside, I do understand, like, I kind of feel bad, like, basically. I don't mean to be casting all of my teachers as sort of mean, horrible people. I can, from an adult's point of view, I can basically see how all of these kind of arose. I can see where the teachers were coming from and what they were trying to do. And I'd hate to be a teacher and basically feel like an elementary school teacher and basically worry about like any little thing I say could be basically this kid's defining moment. That's a lot of pressure, but so I don't mean to be like, you know, I can kind of get where the teachers are coming from, but they impacted me. In class, there's this tessellated leaf pattern, and I had the brilliant idea of making a rainbow gradient. I really wanted it to be sort of, you know, like those little kids rainbow gradient. The problem is that I was 5 and didn't quite have what I thought you had to do to make a gradient was basically take the crayon and sort of just kind of scribble wildly. So it looked like a horrible mess. And also, I'm not even sure if I got the colors of the rainbow right, but yeah, it probably looked quite bad. So I was already disappointed in my work. But it got a lot worse when I was called to the front of the class alongside 5 of the second graders. And the teacher basically showed all of our horrible artworks to the class and berated us for not trying and not taking the exercise seriously. Again, sort of seeing it from the teacher's point of view, she probably kind of forgot that I was a first grader amongst all of the second graders. But oh my gosh, like I was so sad. I don't think I cried, but I remember just feeling like, but I did try. I did try. I just failed quite spectacularly. And then we were given a detention, like we were held back in recess on the first day of school for making subpar art. Oh my gosh. Anyway, here I'm making this lovely rainbow banner the way I think I had envisioned. The leaves, I couldn't quite get the leaves quite right because I'm sort of holding the pen in a really weird way, and I'm trying not to sort of curve, like do sort of avoid pincing motions, because that's sort of the thing that aggravated the right hand. The next story, here I'm drawing the flag of Canada. I'm Canadian. And this story happens like a year later in grade 2, where the assignment of the day is to color in various symbols of Canada. I remember there was sort of a Mountie, a beaver, and the Canadian flag. Now here's the thing. I'm sure, like many girls around that time, I was going through a big purple phase. Everything had to be purple. Actually, hang on a sec. So, I was really going through a purple phase. Like here, this is my coloring set case from school. It has my little name on it there. And like a lovely little bead art crocodile, I think, from that time. Oh, I think the thing is glow in the dark. I think it doesn't do that anymore. Was going through a major purple phase, so I thought, oh, wouldn't it be cool if the Canadian flag, if I colored it purple? So I do that, I color it purple, hand it in, and then after a bit, the teacher sort of calls me to her desk and looks at me quite solemnly and asks, "You too, why did you color the Canadian flag purple?" And she chastises me for not taking the exercise seriously, because I had to color in the Canadian flags or the Canadian symbols properly. Now, I don't really know what was in the cultural zeitgeist around that time, but I don't think coloring the flag purple warranted that level of concern. I don't know, I don't think coloring the flag purple is unpatriotic. I was 7. I just liked purple. I just liked purple. Anyway, that was the second time I got a detention for coloring related infractions. Okay, so I've taken the stencil here and I'm starting to write the phrase "c'est très joli" in French, obviously. And this brings us to the third story. We're just fast forwarding a few years now to 6th grade. Now, luckily, my 6th grade teacher was quite supportive of my bad art. So yes, in this story, it's not the teacher who's hurt my feelings, it's my classmates. Most of us are 11 in this story. And yeah, that's a time when the criticisms from your peers start to get a bit more brutal. So this is a separate assignment where we have to write a French phrase and draw sort of something that accompanies that phrase that's related. And the phrase that I wrote was "c'est très joli." It's very pretty. And my drawing was a mess. So I think my classmates, I mean, looking back, it's a funny joke, but they did sort of go at me for being like, "Nan, like, it's not, that's not joli, it's ugly." So yes, I remember I tried and I failed. I did have to pause to check whether it should be in the masculine or feminine form, and luckily both flag and drawing in French both take the masculine form, so the phrase here can both refer to the drawing and to the fact that I think my purple Canadian flag is very pretty. Now, as I went to go get something, I stumbled upon this photo of me in kindergarten, very proudly posing in my princess costume that my mom sewed for me. I do love this photo because it is, I am a princess in this photo, and I just kind of took on the role. And I remember seeing sort of the VHS tape, and I am acting very princess-like. And I thought of putting her here because I thought I wanted to make a piece of art that she would love. So I put her there so that she could admire the artwork. I don't know if this is sort of a bit mad, but here we go. Now, here comes the point in the artwork where I feel the desire to go a bit nuts. And sometimes I listen to that feeling and sometimes I don't, but I think for this exercise of trying to get back to that childish love of just creating, I did go a bit ham. So I'm here smudging some paint with my fingers, painting random things. A lot of the things here are sort of things that I just liked drawing as a kid. The glasses guy I enjoyed. I used to sort of have this obsession with glasses around maybe 2nd grade, because I've never had to, I don't need glasses yet. And I think I sort of had a phase where I thought glasses might look cool, I don't know. I decided to sort of outline the Canadian flag in red to sort of indicate that, yes, it should be red, and I know that. I don't know whether that has the right effect. Does it look okay with the red outline? But yes, I know the Canadian flag's red. I knew. I really enjoyed going through this exercise. Part of me just likes having the thing that I wanted to do, the thing I had intended to do as a kid. I had intended to make a gradient banner. I thought the purple Canadian flag looked pretty, and with my French assignment, I tried to make it pretty. So a bit of this is just like, okay, I've done what I intended to do, and I think 5-year-old me would be very happy with this painting. And I do recommend this as an exercise. Like, can you think of times as a kid where someone criticized your art or you felt like horrible about your crafts as a kid? I recommend basically collecting a few of those little stories and combining them into a piece that sort of affirms the creative child you were.